So now let's build this events page that we have on our home page in GitHub. So if you check that, we can see who followed us, who started our repo, who forked it, and such. So to build it, I am going to use this API. So if I come to, let me open REST APIs in here, come to events, activity in here, at second number. In activity, we are having event, so open it. Okay, the next step is to create a, I can say, component for this in the home page. Just like we have top repos on the left, we will have a component called events. Okay, I think we already have the component name here called events. So inside, let me make a file called index.tsx. Make it a functional component, name it as event component. So also we need a file for styling, so we can say events.module.css. Let me bring it inside events component. So import styles from this route, save it. Now let me get this events in the home component. Just return it. So I can say events or event component, save it. We cannot see anything, but if you scroll, we can see it down here. So we need this in this section, in the vertical section, the horizontal section here. In order to do that, we need to just give this div a class name of, I can say, styles dot home page or home, just make it home. So this will go in the home module and make display as flex. If you check that, it is still hidden. So what we are going to do is come to the new repo module. Okay, not here. Let me check where I want to. Okay, come to the top bar. So top bar is inside the common folder and top bar. In here, we are having top bar module.scss. The position is fixed. So we are going to change this to sticky. So make this as sticky. Now we can see it in here. The only problem is this is like, if I, let me just do this. Let me get load and make some text. Just let me copy this kind of text. Copy this. Let me come to GitHub app. Let me overload this event component that were just created. So this will be in here. Let me just keep pasting it so that our page overloads with this text. This section. So see, it is getting overloaded, fine. So it is now not looking so good. So we have to also style them. So in this div, give it a class name of styles.events main. Now let me get events main to the module here of style. Just to make width as, let's say, we can say 60%. Save. So I have made width at 60% because the sidebar in here has a width of 40. So it will be total 100. So we have done that. Also, see, that thing is, it is like when it is overloading, the color is not black. The color is not matching. So in here, I can give height as 100 VH. Still it will not be fixed. So what we will do is, if I give min height as 100 VH and then give height of, say, auto, and then if I give background color, okay, not here. So the background color should be in the home module in this page. So background color, let's say I give it as black. So it is now black, but we don't need black. Okay, it is black, it's fine. So it is working. But the thing is, on the left side, this is not looking good to us or to me. So if I come to top not top bar module, this top repos module in here, we are having this height as 100 as well. So I can just do min height as 100 and height will be auto in here. Now it will be like this, fixed. Remove this property that we had previously called min height. Just leave it with height as 100 vh. So it is now sticking in here. So just like we have in GitHub, we are having it here. So if I scroll to the top, we will see this sticking to the top here. We can only scroll this much part, the new events part. Now let me close these kind of things. Just focus on the events. So I can remove this entire text that we added in here. So let me delete this text, save it. Are we recording? Yes, we are recording. So save it. Now what we need to do is, in the events in here, we need to find a API that says, if I scroll down, we will have this event, list events received by a authenticated user. So we need to call this API that we are having in here. So open API folder, get API, get GitHub API.tsx. So export const, I can make get all events. So in here, let me just have let me add try block. Then let me add a response that will contain the response from this await octokit request. So this function we have to make async, save it. So we have an issue. This should be, what is the issue in here? I think I have extra. Okay, we also need to add a catch block. So add catch. If we have an error, it will show in the console. Now it is fine. So let me return the response from in here. So I can say return response. Save. This username we will get from the params, just like we are having in here in get all user repos. So if I just place it here, replace this username with this username that we're getting from parameters, this will work. So let me now create a hook for this. So we can add this in the home hooks. So I can name this as use fetch events .tsx. So let me just copy the logic of get top repos and add it here. This will be use fetch events. This will take the username as a string and it will fetch us the top events. Just the events. So we can say events set events, which can be an array. So let me not just do set top repos this, just do a console of this. So we don't need to pass 7 because we only need to pass the username in get, not get all user repos. This function should be use, okay, what is the name? It is get all events. So get all events, this will come in here. We will pass the events and we will get the response. Also return this events in here at the bottom. So we need to call this function called get events. So this function will go in the use effect hook, and whenever the username it changes, we will get this. So let me now, if I check this, we are calling get top repos in the home page, in the top repos, just like this. We are passing, okay, we are having use fetch current user in top repos, use fetch current user from hooks fetch current user. Okay, yes, so it is returning us the current user. So the same thing we can do in this, not top repos, in the events in here. So do it. We need to import use fetch current user to get our current user. So import use fetch current user it will return us the current user. Now we need to call this new hook here called use fetch events as we pass the current username. Use fetch events current user dot login. So this will return us this events value, but it is empty because we are not setting it in here. We are just doing a console log. Let events equals to, okay, let me destructure it properly. Events equals to use fetch events. Need to import this. Import use fetch events from the local hook folder. Okay, the thing is, it is default export. That is why we don't have curly brackets around it. So if I do a console.log of events, let's see the console. Are we getting events or not? Open the console. We are getting this object which contains our data that we have to get. So we can do events.data. Okay, it is undefined. So I guess if I do a console log of events, line number 8, use fetch events. Okay, yes, we're getting it in here. Sorry. So if I do response dot data, we are getting this array with different objects inside that contains our events. So if I show you this, we have fork event. Let me open or show you GitHub. So our first fork event is this. So we cannot get the events which are like follow requests or follows. We'll only get events like forked. So if I give it a refresh in here, the top fork is Sunil Podel forked this repository and such. So we're getting it in here. The login is this name, URL is this, avatar URL, we have that. Then we have the type which is fork event. Then we have repo that is forked and so on. So this is the area that we needed. And we are doing it using that. Now we need to do this. We need to set the events from response.data into set events. So this will be an object in here. Make it an object, but argument of type this and that, it's not assignable to this and that. So if I just make it response, what is the issue here? Okay, if I do it as an object, not an object, as an array, or if I, what can we do in to fix it? Let me just do response.data is not assignable to parameter of type set state action never. So this is a problem. What we can do, if I do if response exists only, then set it. Will this work? No, it will not work. So if I remove response, if I remove data from response and make it as an object, okay, if I do as any, it will be fixed. Or if I do this as an empty array, it will be fixed as well. So we are having events in the index file, line number 10. So we're getting all the events in here. See, I just need to map through all of them. So remove a console log. Let me do this in here. Let me make events dot map single event. This will take. Then we can just return, or yes, we can return JSX like a div inside. So let me now firstly do event dot, what can we print first? Let me just do event dot, what is it inside GitHub? We have the name of the person, so I can say actor, then actor name, which can be, okay, actor we are having. Let me try this one, actor dot login. Yes, this is what we need. So let me give a question mark in case it can be undefined here as well. So this actor will go in the event as an object. This event, this actor will also have a login property that is a string. So make it so. We are now getting all the names in here. But the thing is, we are having this div in here. Okay. We need to wrap this in another div. I will show you why I did that. So do this. So we are getting the name of all the persons that is inside the objects, like the name of the users that we have on GitHub, like in here. The thing is, some of them are starred, some of them are forked. So we have to separate who is the forky or who is the starry. So what we need to do is create another div, or basically not a div, a span tag. In the span tag, what we can do is check, or basically I think firstly make a div. In this div, we will check this thing. So we will check event dot, what is the issue? I mean, what is the actor? Not the actor. What is the type? It is, we need fork event. If the event dot type is the fork event, so this will be in here. If it is fork event, do this. Otherwise, do nothing or show nothing. Save. The type should be in the event as well, just like actor. So type is a string. So make an empty string in here. Save. The thing is, this comparison appears to be unintentional because types this and fork event have no overlap. So event type is an empty string. If it is fork event, do this. I mean, show something like this div. And in this div, we have to follow the same thing that we have on GitHub. Like, we can use a forked keyword. So in here, make a span tag and say forked. So all of the names that is forked, we'll see forked. And I think this should also be a span tag, because we need all of them in a single line. So now we are getting, okay, it is not working. So I guess just move this in here. So we will see Sunil Podel forked this and that. Just give a space. And okay, why don't I just make them in a single line? This actor or this person forked. Then we have the repo name that he forked. So let me get it from in here. The key name. So we have actor dot, okay, it's not in here, so close it. Let me check payload dot forky. In here, I think we have something called full name, something like that. Yes, full name, this key name. So we need to add this after this. So forked, what did he fork? Event dot payload. So do payload. In the payload, we have forky dot forky. Just save it for now. After forky, we have the full name. So this should be in here. Full name, full name, full name. Where are you? Full name, this one. Sunil Podel React Weather. So just do dot this, save. Now we are getting this stuff. Sunil Podel for Sunil Podel React Weather. And after that, let me add this thing. Let me go to the home page. We need to add from. So just do from our repo name. So if I come back, we are having this repo. So I can do event dot repo. After repo, add the name. So do dot name. So it will be our name now, like Sunil Podel forked Sunil Podel React Weather from Nishan Triple React Weather and such. Now what we need to do is add this payload in the event. Payload is an object. In the payload, we have forky, this key. Forky is a string. Okay, it is not a string, it is an again object. In this object, we have again a full name. So add a full name in here as a string. Then we have this repo dot name. So yet again, just add event dot repo dot name. Name should be in it. This, save it. It will be fine. This was all about forking. So we can style this. In this div, let me add a class name of styles.forks. This will go inside events main because it is the event. So if I come to here, just do dot forks. Let me do margin 10 pixels. Yes, this looks fine now. The thing is, we need to change the width to 50%. Now that's also fine. We can see these things. Now, this is for forking. Let me style this. Okay, I also have the image of the forky, so I can also add that in here. What I need to do is just before the event.actor.login, add an img image tag called source. Let me open the console. We will have the image of the forky. So if I come to actor, it means if I come to event dot actor dot avatar URL, we will get that image of the forky. So just do this, save. We are having all these images, but they are very large, so we have to make them small. Styles dot forky avatar. Let me have it in the styles module. In the forks, we can say forky avatar width 30px. They are now smaller. Let me also add height as 30px. Then border radius 50%. Now they're circular. So what we need to do is, okay, this avatar URL should be inside the actor. So make it as empty string. So yes, now we have to arrange them. If I make this a div, what will happen? This span, this will be fine. No, nothing will change. So I think this div is what we don't need. So remove it. In this forks class name, just make display as flex. Save. Add a gap 20px. What about this? It is too much. Try 15. 15. Yes, 15 is fine. Also, we need to add a gap between them vertically. So let me do this. If I do margin 10 pixels 0, it will be like this. If I do 0, 10 pixels, okay. If I make it 20 pixels, this is now, I'll think looks fine. Now we need to make this style thing. Like if I hover this, we are seeing the image of the or the profile of the current user. So let me style them. Let me come in here. Let me give this a span. Just wrap event.actor.login in a span. Okay, this will be like this. Forked. Okay, this will be problematic for us. So this is should also be in a span, I guess, in order to be on the single lines. So if I add this forked in a span, it is fine. If I remove or make this as 20%, no, it will not work. So 50 is fine here. Span this, then span this. What if I add this in a div? This will be an enclosing div. Yes, now it is fine, working fine. So this span that we are having at the start, give it a class name of styles.actor name. Actor name will be in here. So I can say actor name color white smoke. The color is now, I can say, changed. Again, what we need is if I hover this, the color is changing to blue. So copy actor name, place it in here, make a hover effect, hover, change the color to this color that we are having. So if I hover this, let me open what font. Hover this, the color is 2F81F7. Add it. Now just hover them, the color will change. Let me exit what font from in here. Also, cursor will be changed to pointer. Save. Now they have been changed to pointer. We also have the timestamp in here, like when it was forked. So I will add it. The next place that we want to do this is in this place. So I can reuse this actor name, reuse the class name. So copy this. Let me trap this in a span again. Just add a class name in here. Copy span. Just add this in here. Save. We will see this as blue now. The next place we want to do is in this Nishan 666 React with that our name. So again, copy this span, wrap it in a span, just enclose this in here. Okay, let's do it here. This should work fine. We need to have a space, so copy this, paste it in here. Also, like before this and after this as well. Now it is fine. It is working. So what we need is to have a margin, or not margin, padding 20px to shift it inside. Now this looks perfect. Yes. Okay. This looks not perfect, but it looks fine. We need to add width as 60%. If I add, what about 55%? This also looks fine. So the next thing we need to do is do this for, okay, let me come here, remove this span that encloses fogged. Okay, the next thing we need to do is do this thing for stars. So just let me copy this block, paste it. Let me open the console now. So are we recording? I think yes, we are recording, getting recorded. So I can just do, we have type as fork event. We should have a type for star event. So if I keep checking it, we have push event, we have fork event again, fork event again. Let me open this. We have watch event. I think this is the name that we need. If the event or type is watch event, we can come in here, do fork event a pipe watch event, because the type can be one of these values, fork event or watch event. But in here, we should have some issues that says event dot payload dot fork dot full name does not exist. So if I check stars in here, come down, we just need the name and our repo name. So I can remove, let me remove all of this stuff. Okay, just leave the first thing and the second thing as well. So I guess this is done. This should be not fogged, this text. Okay, let me open this. This should be starred, where it is this text, starred. Now if I check, we will see this person decode 512 start something, but we cannot see the result in here. So I just need to get style.actor name, which is event.repo.name, which means our repo. Save it, and this should be in here that this user start this repository. Okay, now what we need is to display these cards here that we have that shows the repo that was fogged or start. So let me just collapse these events div. We are having another div in here. In here, make one div that will be common to both start and fogged. So if I type something like hello in here, we will see hello. We are seeing hello 2 times in here, then we are seeing it only once. So I guess what we can do is, okay, if I add it here, we can see it 2 times. Why? But else we are seeing it only once. Okay, what we need is to not add it here. Let me add them. Let's say in this div, events main in here. So now we should get hello, but only once. So it will not be fine. So we were having events.map in here. Then we're returning this div. Okay, let me just try it in here. Why we are getting it 2 times? I think what we can do is create a card. Okay, the thing is we are getting it 2 times because first we have Sunil Podel, then we have this GitHub Actions thing. So I can also add this. So we have watch event just like that. Let me add one more at the very top. That is for, let me copy this block. This is for GitHub Actions. So if I open console in here, the array is here. We need to add we need to check the first index of the array. It is push event. So just like fork event and watch event, we need one push event. So if event type is this push event, we are going to do our stuff. So again, we need to add this in the type. If type is either one of these three, just run the code. Okay, in the push event, what we need is GitHub Actions bot push to this repo. So actor is GitHub Actions with the bot key. Then we have pushed to. So just make this as pushed to. For key full name is not defined. So if I just remove this key from in here, we will see pushed to from Nishant 666. So in here we also don't need for. So yeah, I think we are having it twice. So just remove one of them. So now we are saying GitHub Actions bot push to Nishant 666. Fine. Then we have the avatar URL of this. So if I come all the way top, event.actor.avatar URL. So this is icon of GitHub, but we cannot see. If I let me open this in a new tab, let's see what we are getting in here. Okay, we're getting this icon, so it is fine. Now we have this and hello. In the hello, we need to show our repo that is the target. So we are having a card in here. So just to make or remove this div, give this div a class name of styles dot repo card, or I can make this as event repo card. So this event repo card, let me have it in here at the end. So this is having width of, let's say 100%. What about if I make this 100%? Then height 40px. Let me make background color as gray. So it is fine. Width should be 90. Now it is perfect. Height should be 80. 80, I think. Let's make it 100. Okay, 100 is fine, I guess. Border radius should be, let's say 10px. We are now rounded. Maybe just make it 5, not 10. Yes, that is fine. We need this color. So if I inspect, I think this is 212121, or the same color that we have the sidebar repos. I mean this top repository. So if I come to top repos module, the color is this. Is it? Let me just replace it and see what happens. Yes, it is the same. You also have, okay, let me make it a little bit lighter. I think it is a little bit light. So just do this. No, it was fine before. Make this, I think, a little bit more. So just revert this back. Okay, now we need border 1px solid, this color that we are having. Border 1px solid, say gray. Just make it dark only a little bit less. Yes, I think this looks fine to me, but just a little bit darker. 646464. I think this looks fine. So event.repo.card, it is having some margin, so let's make 10 pixels. And to make it accurate, just make this as 80, not 100. This looks now fine. So in this card, the first thing we want to add is this thing called repo name, which is Nissan 666. So if I just come in here, copy span actor name, I mean class name is actor name, and the key is event.repo.name, paste it, save it. We will see the name of the repo that they have starred or forked, or if it is related to the action in here. See, it is working. So then we have the language of the repository, main language. So I guess the key name for this is, let me check in. Okay, let me just console event.repo.name, that we need in here from events. So this can be undefined, so throw a question mark, which is optional chaining. No, it is undefined. Okay, I can, okay, events, that will not work because events is an array. So I guess we have to check it like this only. So if I check the first one, we have repo, the name we are having, the ID and such. What is in the payload? Commits. Okay, this is for first one. Okay, we need this for the 0th one. So if I check repo, we have this. If I check this payload, we have for key, we have archive URL and such. Do we have anything for languages in here? Keys URL, merge, react with the name, notifications, private, public, size, stargaze count. It is in here that we will add. Then do we have language, size URL, name? I don't think we have the language. It's inside the for key. What is this? If I open, okay, if I open the for key, this is the data of the person who forked it. Correct? I think we are not going to find what we are looking for it in here. If I check actor, we are having the same things. The repo is this ID and this. So I guess we can get the languages of the person. Okay, I have closed it. Sorry. We need to open GitHub again. So if I use this ID to get the person or get the repos data like language or stars and such, it will work. So I think we can have stars in here in the payload. We have for key, we have total stars in here. Okay, star guess count is 0. I think this is for this person only, that from their side. We have watchers 0, public. Okay, so I guess let me get the repo details using the repo ID. So if I open repo.id, this is the ID that we have. So let me check if we have any repo data API in here. If I come to repositories at the bottom, we are having repositories. We need to have a API with get repos by ID something. Get a repository, owner and the repo. So if I check in here, the repo is this. So I can just pass this because this is the owner name and this is the repo name. So it will work. So where is the function name? What was it? Get a repository. So if I open API, GitHub APIs, just make export const get. Do we have a function for this? Get all user repos, not this. I don't think we have. So let me add get repo, get repos by user name. This will be, let me make it a function. Inside, let me paste this stuff. Just have a response equals to this, and this function will be asynchronous. So we need owner and the repository. So if I come in here, we can call the function simply. So what we need to pass is this thing, just the owner and the repo name. So what I need to do is just to repo name. Okay, let me have it here. Repo name. It can be a string. Fine, we have done that. Now let me create one component in here in event that says repo details.tsx. This will be a functional component. Let me return it in here. Import repo details from one step back, repo details, and then simply, if I check, just call it in here in this event.repo card. So we will get repo details, and now in the repo details we will need this ID, which is called repo name. So just destructure it from props. Now what we need is to pass this thing called, if I check, we need to pass event dot, let me check what we need to pass. We need to pass the repo name with the username combined. So if I do, okay, if I do event, okay, let me first add the key, which is called repo name. So I will pass repo name as event dot repo dot name. This will go inside this function. Let me open interfaces. Make an interface here in called, I can say, repo details. So it is taking a string value, which is name. Okay, we are passing repo name. So this will be repo name. This can be a string. So make it a string. Then assign it in here. Simple. So let me have a use effect hook in here. But first a const function. Get repo detail. Then add a use effect hook. Make a dependency array in here. So if we pass repo name inside, every time the repo name changes or it is in here, this function that we're having will mount. If I put it inside, now let me just have some water. Okay, I love live coding internet. Let me catch my breath. In the get repo details, we need to pass this repo name so that it comes in here. Get repo details. Okay, sorry, not here. We need to make this function in here called get repos by username. So let me import get repos by username, and in this function simply call it by passing the repo name. Save it. We can just console the response, but now it will be like give error or something because we haven't specified which person to have the name. So response will be in the console. Now this repo name, we can just replace it in here. So I can make an object a dollar, this repo name, and let me change this to template literals. Then we don't need these keys. Save it. Let's check our output. In the repo details, in here, let me not have the event. Let me refresh the page. So we are getting the data in here. It means it is working, the API call that we had. So I can say response.data. So now we're getting all this data for the repository of the user. So description is here. We have for count. We must have a stars count. If I go down, size, star gather count, yes, we are having this. So let me return this response.data. Come in here, just get the response from in here. So I can make a state that will contain this response. So if I come in here, make a state called const repo data set repo data equals to use state empty array. Okay, it is an array or it is an object. Let me just verify it in here. It is an object, so make it as an object. Now set repo data will come in here and it will contain our response. So we can just do in here as response dot. Okay, what we need to show firstly is the repo name Nishant +6 weather. So I can get it. I think it was home page, that is null. Language is JavaScript, fine, that we are getting. We have honor. In the honor, we have the name. Do we have the name? We have login. We have HTML URL. Okay, Nishant +6 and the repo name. Let me check where is the data regarding this. because we're getting a lot of keys in the payload, a lot of data. Honor, security, stargazer count. Where? In the honor, we have this stuff. GitHub.com, Nishan 666. We have name. We have name. We have description. Okay, so I can just divide them. Nishan 666 and the repo name. So if I don't have, okay, it is full name that we are having in here. I think I have skipped it. Full name, yes, this is it that we needed. So I can set response dot full name, and this full name will go in this object. We have to initialize it as an empty object. I mean empty key name. So okay, I have done it wrong. This will be repo data dot full name. So this function, if I make it async, okay, it is async in here. Yes, if I make it async in here, then await this, will have no errors. Okay, the name is in here of the person that is holding the repo. Now what we need is between, or at bottom of that we need the language. So it is JavaScript. So language should be somewhere here. Let me check it. Language. That is from an L. Honor, we have node ID and such. Type is user. Where is the language? It is here. What is the language URL? I think, let me wrap this in a p tag at the end, at the last, but before this div. Okay, now the next thing we need is the language. So repeat this. Repo data dot language. Save. Language should be here in the repo data object as well as a string. Now we have JavaScript. So after that we have stars. So we can repeat it once more, and in here we can just do stars in here. So it is stargazer count. I can just do repo data dot stargazer count. Add this stargazer count as a string in the object as well, and it will be here. So we have nothing inside. It is done. If I close this, and now let's work on styling. So the name is on the top, that is correct. Then we have JavaScript. Okay, do we have some colors for our languages? Let me just check it in the object. Not this object. Are we consoling it? No. So let me just do a console log to check what else we can add. So clone URL, collaborator comment, compare, blah blah, master, download URL event. We had something called language URL. So what was it? If I check here, let me now go to this link and see what we get. JavaScript shell. Okay, this is the URL of all the languages in here. So what we can do, permission, size, honor, no, we shouldn't have that in the honor. What we can do is just do it on our own, but before that let me arrange them properly. So what we can do is, this div should have a class name of, I can say styles. Let me have this styling file here. Import styles from events.module.scss. So I can say styles.repo details. Now come in the event module. I can say repo details. I can say margin 20px. No, not margin. Make it as padding. Okay, it will not work. So I want them a little bit on the left. So I can say margin left 30px. Okay, it is done. And the height is also big. Okay, height is not big, height is fine. Just the size is smaller of this second key name. Let me close this one. So this should be a span We need them in a single line, so make them both as a span. Save. So wrap this in a div, save. So we have repo details. Let me just have margin left 30 that we added. Margin top, or not margin top, in the event repo card, say display as flex, align items center. They are now in the center. So we are having these things perfectly perfect. So we have the name and the language and the stars. So if I give some distance between the spans, just make a class name of, I can say sub styles dot subcard. So in the repo details, I can say subcard. In the subcard, we need margin as 10 pixels. Make it. We need the margin on the vertical side only. So make it 0 now. Or what if I make it 5px? What will happen then? No. We only need 0. Then this should be, let's say, 35 pixels. No, it will not. I think the thing is, we need to increase the height because we need to adjust it properly. What about, we had 80px? What about 70? No. So I guess we need to give padding in here. I can say 10 pixels. No, I think padding should be in this. No, it is not working. So I can leave this for now. So we need to decrease size of JavaScript in here. So if I give the spans a class name of styles.span, same thing will be done in here. Span will be in the subcard. So after this, what we need is to have font size of say 15px. They're now small, not smaller, maybe 12. Yes, now they are smaller, but too small. So make it 13. It is now fine. We need a margin between them. So say margin 10 pixels. Fine. It is now working. And in this p tag, add a class name of styles.repo name. The repo name we can use it in here in the repo details. So we can say dot repo name margin top, say 5 pixels, save. Okay, margin top 5 pixels. What about 15? 10 will be fine. So it is here. Now we have the repo name and language and the, you can say this one, the stars. The next thing we need to do is just have the star icon in here. So if I open React icons, let me search for star, which is outline star. So it is from AI. So let me come to the top and do import this icon name from React icons / AI. This icon will be before the start count, this one. So this should be in the span in here. Just return this icon. It is here. It is breaking our page. So just make a span in here again, or just wrap this, just make this as a div, save. It is now here. This span that we are having, this will be in here, and let me check the class name. Just make display as flex. They're now on a single line. So if I make it a span, what will happen then? Subcard that we are having, also make display as flex, save. Okay, this is working. In here, make align items as center. Let me add a gap between them, say 10 pixels. 10 is too much. Try 5. Yes, 5 is fine. But the thing is, the font size is too small for this. Make it 15. Save it. This is now big. Yes, it is fine to us or to me. What about 14? Okay, the icon should be only bigger. So just make the size in here as 15, maybe 20. Yes, it is now big. we need a clickable icon, so give it a class name that will be styles.star or styles.icon. So copy this icon in here. It is in the sub card. It is in the span. Just add this. Then say cursor as pointer. Now we need to arrange them properly. So make it 5px. If I make it 0, it is also 0 on the top. If I remove it, it's also fine. What about margin? If I remove this, so we need to make margin on the left as 0. So make 0 10 pixels, shorthand property. Then in the div, just wrap this in a span tag. Styling them, it can be a little bit difficult, even for us or me or you. And then just make a space in here. Okay, not working. In the span, the gap is 5, make it as 10. Okay, this will work only on the star and the stargazer count. So we need something. Okay, we need it in here in subcard. So add gap as 5px. 5 is try 10. 10 try 15. 15 is fine, but yes, I think that's fine. Now JavaScript, the text should have the font size of 13, so we revert it back. Yes. So let me add the font that we had in somewhere here. This font. So apply it globally in the events main. Now it has been changed, all the fonts in here, and this looks great to me. So only in here we are having it 3 times. Why? So what we can do is just wrap this card in a curly bracket. If event.type is create event or event.type is issue comment event, like we can, if I try to do this, we are not seeing this create event or issue comment events. So do it like this. We are saying all our fox and stars. Now let me copy create event, put it inside this. So I can say create event. Then I need to have one more called issue comment event. Issue comment event. Yes, this one. Add. Save. This should be working fine now. With no issues on our VS Code. No TypeScript issues. We also have a star button here, but I will not add it now. I just need to click it. It will be starting the repo. So it will be starting the repo, yes. And we don't need to show the stars when the type of our event.type, if it is GitHub Actions or this one, because we cannot see our stars in here. So what we can do is in here, let me pass this event type in here in our repo detail. So I can say event type as event.type. So this prop name will go in here, and in the repo details interface, let me add it. This will be a string as well. Save. So in here we can check if the event type is this called watch event or push event. Yes, push event. Don't show stars or fox things. So I can just do if event type is equals to something like this called, I think, push event, return something. This will be not that. So let me return an empty fragment, else return this. Save. Let me now check. This will be empty. So in here we need to just pass this one commit to master and such. So let's check. Open the console. In here we have the array. Check the first item of the array. We have this type of structure. So let me copy one commit to master. Like, just make a div Okay, make a div, yes. In here, paste one commit to master. Just wrap this in a return bracket. Okay, it will not work because we have only one item. And after this, we have the commit name C77197B. It is something like this. If I check repo, payload, commits, yes, this is the key name. So I can just do in this, I can make a p tag, save, and in the p tag, I can just do, okay, what I need to do is just let me also pass the event. Okay, 1 second, one commit to master. This, are we passing the event? We are passing the repo name only. So one payload, we need to pass the payload as well. So I can say payload event dot payload this only. Save. Let me add the payload in the interface. It is an object. Save it. Payload will come up in here. So let me bring it here. And in this, we can just do payload this dot commits, and in the commits we can just have 0th index. In the 0th index we can just have this sha, okay, 412 something. Okay, 1 second. We have message, push id. We can also do with head in here, but I have come in here, so let me just do sha. So I can do 0 dot sha, save it. This should be in here, but we have to substring it. So I can just do dot substring. We need to just have 7 characters, so 0 to 7. Save it. It is now 7 characters till B. Then we have update dev svg card or dev card.svg. So we can just add the message after that in another paragraph tag. In this, we don't need to have substring, so remove it. We just need commits dot message. So add it. Give it a question mark in here. Okay, we need to add the commits in the payload. So what is issue here? Commit does not exist on type of object. So just make an object, add commits. It is a string, save it. Is it a string? No, it is an array. So I can just make this as an object as well. In the commits, we have the message and the sha. So message, a string. Then we have sha, a string as well. Save, but we still have issues in here. Element, what is the issue in here? Commits is missing in the for key full name. Okay, commits. So in the payload, let me check this payload in here. In the payload, we have commits. Commits is an object. Commits is an array. So make it as an array. Save it. What is the issue now again? In Typescript. So in the commit, we can just add an empty object. And in the commits, we have sha, which is a string. So make empty string. Then we have message. This should be also empty string. Now the issue should not be here. Commits sha string, message string. So if I type any, it will be fixed. So this is a hack, I guess. For now it is working. What else do we have in here? Nothing. One commit to master, then update dev svg card. So this master is a unique key name. So we need to just have this in here. If I check, we have avatar ID and such. We have payload. In the commits, we have author. Do we have something called master in here, which is the repository? I can say branch. No, it is not in here. It is only in the reference. Now let me just style them. So this card is also having this class name. So first let me copy styles dot repo details in this div, the parent div. It is here. So let me also wrap this in a paragraph tag, which can be one commit to master. Then we have the commit name and update dev card.svg. The commit name and this, they are on a single line. So I guess make a span, convert the p of them into span tags. They are on a single line now. So just make a div outside this. I mean, just make a div surrounding the two spans and give styles.subcard class name in the div. Save. They are now here. But the spans should also have a class name called span. So add them in here. The thing only is we are not saying it properly. So we have repo name as well in the p tag. So if I add this, okay, let me change the class name only, which can be styles.repo name. So save. We have one commit to master and update dev svg.devcard.svg. Now if I hover this, we are seeing the blue text. So let me also add it on Nishan 666 React Weather, this one. So this span that we are having, okay, this span repo name, it is not a span, it is a p tag, sorry. P tag styles.repo name. In this we can just do dot repo name. If I hover this, let me show you some styles using the selector of hover. We can add two and do this. Okay, need only one, fine. Sorry. Color will be this. So add the color. If I hover, the color will change. So also add cursor as pointer in the repo name dot this. I mean repo name hover. It will change. One commit to master, update dev svg card, and that's, I think that looks fine to me. This GitHub clone in here. The only thing I want to do is shift the repo cards, that is the repo details, a little bit on the left. So make margin left 40. No, not here. Not from the inside, from the outside. So just make margin left something on event repo card. So margin left I can make, okay, this can be 20 pixels. Is it correct now? I think it is. So it is working fine. So now we have all the events in here. So one thing I want to do is decrease size of this. So make the width as 80%. It is, I think, too small. Let me read it properly. What about 90? Make it 85%. Fine. So in this case, we need to make this as, I can say 85. No, this is 55%. Make it 50%. No, this does not look good. So we have React with it. So make it 60%. What about 60? Save it. This looks now fine to me. I just need to add stars in here now. Okay, we have updated key in here. If we have, let me also add it and then finish it. This video, current video for this section. So we need first key, first array object, then we need to have the data. So in the repo, in here we are having repo data. Let me check this key name, CLG repo data. This is not needed, this events. So remove. Let me check the first. Okay, let me give it a refresh. We need to check the first key name in here. I mean the first object. Sunil Podal. Okay, this is the repo details. I think I'm not getting it here. Okay, we need last updated at. If I come down, should we have updated at key name? Yes, we are having this. So I can just come in here, do updated at, copy this key name, and we need to add it after stargazer in the span here. So I make a span add this updated at the key name, I mean the value will be in here. We only need to add the key name in the repo data as a string, but we need to format it properly. What we can do is install moment.js, npm install moment save, install it. Let me again drink some water. It's good to hydrate mind and my body. So I installed moment, just import it at the top. Oh, now we have to just format it. So to format it, what should we use? Let me use relative time, or let me use triple L. Moment.format triple L and this. So this will go in here. Just need to pass the key name in the moment bracket. It will be Feb 27, the date and the time. Fine. So this is a span. Let me give a class name of, I can say, repo data. Sorry, styles dot. I can name this as updated at. So this will go in here. Let me add it in here, and I can just make margin left 10px. This, how does this look? This looks fine to me. So we have this. We can also, can we add updated at this key name? Do we have something like that? Do we have? Let me check just in here. We have homepage, we have ID, IDs, template, keys, license, PR, title, name, network count, open issues, owner, permissions, private, size, stargazer count, star, subscribers count, SVN URL, URL updated at washers. No, I don't think we have that key name, but I think that's fine. So if I found it, I will, if I find it, I will add it. So I guess that is pretty much it for this current video. We have the JavaScript, and I guess I can increase size of the card, but let me leave it at that. In the next, I will I will add star in here.